Okay, so guys, now I have logged on to my smart management server by this dashboard. So let's configure the cluster first. As I have made some changes in the topology, like not changes, just reflecting few more things in topology. I have added one LAN machine for testing and one GAIA, which is the SM smart management server. So we are going to configure the cluster, and after that we are going to do a testing from this LAN machine to internet. We will be using ICMP. We will be pinging internet IP addresses from this test machine, and same time we will be do a failover as well to see whether there is any break and whether there will be any break or not. So let's create the cluster first. So right click and here security cluster, checkpoint appliance and open servers. Let's use the wizard mode. So the cluster name we will be using lab cluster. Okay, the IP address will be 10.1.1. As we will be managing this cluster from LAN, so we will be using the LAN interface. And as we have given the IP address 10.1.1, 10.1.12, and 10.1.13, we have not given anywhere. This will be using as a cluster IP, virtual IP. Okay, and using checkpoint cluster XL HA. So let's add. So like here you have to add members, the SGs of this cluster. So we will be using the existing SGs, like as we defined SG1, SG2. So we will be using these the two SGs and we'll create a cluster. So go to add, because as you can see there are two options: new cluster member and add existing gateways. So we will not be creating a new cluster member because our cluster members are already defined, so we will be using that. So just select it and okay and yes, add existing. Okay, yes, there are a few things which will be changed. No worries, you can accept it. Next and then next. So here we have to define the topology, and now what it will do, it will fetch all of the interfaces of from those members gateways, and it will give us this view to configure those interfaces. So as you can see, oh, this can be done later on as well. Let's finish it because this is not something a good view to configure the interfaces. So now we can see those gateways are, you know, those gateways are not reflecting anymore here because those gateways are under this cluster now, and the color has also been already also got changed for those gateways. So let's add it lab cluster object and a cluster member. We can see both of the cluster members are added, and here like we can increase and decrease the priority as well, which cluster member should be master and which should be standby, active and standby. So here we can see we are using HA, which is cluster XL. We can use VRRP as well, but we will be using cluster XL as of now. So use state synchronization, and this option maintain current active cluster member but switch to the higher priority cluster member is like uh, upon cluster member recovery. Once a cluster member got failed, and once you will recover that member, what you will want all traffic should be shifted on that member, or it should be working as it is. So the best recommended option is maintain current state as is, so that there should not be any disturbance on the network traffic. And the next step is very important step is to configure the topology. As you can see, it has fetched all of the interfaces information from the members. So let's click on add it. So this is the LAN. So let's give the LAN IP address, which is 1.1.3 virtual IP address we have to provide. Okay, okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, now for this interface we will not use any IP addresses, virtual IP address, because this interface we are using a heartbeat sync interface. So this will go as a first sync, and we can configure three syncs which will be redundant to each other. Let's configure the same way for this interface as well, and we will be using 11.145 virtual IP for external interface. And make sure yeah, it is defined as external, and the third one is you know a DMG, and we will be using. Okay, so now we are ready with this cluster configuration. No more changes, no more things needs to be defined here. Just create the policy. So I have created one management tool to manage my SG boxes. I can add this as well. uh, the because if I add this lab cluster object here, then I can manage those gateways by using virtual IPs as well. Second, for the internet access, I have a test machine as I was explaining earlier. So this test machine, what I did, I have to enable internet. So what I did, I have enabled the high net for this test machine so that it should be native with the public IP address and it should have any access. Third is the cleanup rule. So let's push the policy now. My CPU is going to crash now seems because I'm running lots of resources here. Anyways, so let's go to that machine and see whether I'm able to ping the virtual IP or not. So as I mentioned, this is my test machine. Let's see if I'm able to ping my virtual IP or not. 3 is not exist in my network. This is just a virtual IP cluster IP. Here you go. So this is now reachable. So it means my cluster is ready now, and it is able to sense the traffic. It is able to receive the traffic on the virtual IP addresses. And also one more thing, once the policy will be posted, and to ensure whether cluster are running or not, you have to go. You have to take a CLI of your gateways, and you have to run a command cpha prop start. It will give you the output what is the cluster status. So as you can see, it is giving 2 is down. Why? Okay, one interface on 2 is off. I think there's something I was doing earlier. Doing some testing earlier. The reason you can see. Anyways, oh, this is giving some error. TCP connectivity failure. Oh, that's the reason is that because that interface was in a switch off mode. Let's push the policy again. Because earlier I was doing some testing, so I kept that interface in off mode. So it was not enabled, but I have enabled it now. So let's test it again. It should work now. Let's close this because my CPU is already. Who is reading my CPU? Let's see. Oh, it's GNS VMware. Okay, okay. So come on, quick, 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 quick. Okay, this is still yes, still reachable. So let's try to ping it. Okay, now it's done with warning. Warning is just like I've disabled anti-spoofing. So leave that as it is and try to ping internet. Yes, I'm able to ping internet. Means I'm able to go on internet now. If I'll do it tracer -t to verify the path. So I can see the first hop is the virtual IP, which is my firewall. The second hop is my gateway of my firewall, which is router, and then on internet. And if I want to see who is taking care of all of the traffic, all lot of the traffic, so I have to run cpha probe space stat. It can give you the output, so you can see the 1.1.1.1 is taking 100% load and it is active. Another one is standby. So what we are going to do now, we are going to make active. We are going to disable one of the interface of the active module so that failover should be happen. And let's see what will happen on the ICMP which is going from this firewall. Will we get any drop? So currently SG1 is active as we can see. So let's set interface ETS 0 state off. Okay, so there you go. So let's see any. So as you can see, there is no drop in ICMP request. So our one gateway is down now. Let's see the cluster status now. we can see the 1.1 which was taking 100% load is down now, and all load is shifted on the secondary module. And let's see if I'll, and we can see the ping is still going on. Let's see if I'll again enable that interface. Will the traffic shift again back on this module or not? Okay, so here you go. So 1.1 is standby, which was down earlier. As we can see, 1.1 was down, so it is again, it is up now and it is in standby mode. So the traffic is not shifted back on that gateway because we have not enabled that option. And the ping is working absolutely fine. So the failover has been done, configuration testing has been done, no interruption in the network traffic. So it means it is working absolutely fine. Okay, so thank you guys. Now you can configure the cluster and test all of the connectivity.